Want to know the most underrated marketing and sales strategy as a female entrepreneur? Audacity, with just a sprinkle of delusion. I'm Leanne Lopez Mosley, modern day business mogul, founder of Rich Queen, and the creator and host of the Soft Girl Million Show. Trailblazing isn't just what I do, it's who I am. I grew up across the pond in a small town in England, the middle child, definitely the one who spoke too much and dreamed way too big. I was the little girl with a Hollywood Walk of Fame tile on her pink bathroom wall, so I guess you could say that this was really all part of the plan. I moved to New York at 21 to work in fashion. Think Ugly Betty, but on steroids, realizing very quickly that if I was gonna work this hard, I was sure as hell gonna get paid very well for it. I mean, listen, I'm a Taurus. It's expensive to be me. Somewhere in the middle of corporate America 12 years ago, I met my husband, Justin, still the hottest and coolest man alive. I'm a boy mum, 4 kids with a rich and full life. And I've built a business that creates delusional income without me being at the cost of it. I went all in, walking away from corporate into my coaching business at the end of 2020. And before I even hit anything close to $1 million a month, before the audience, before the proof and the evidence, I was already being coined the trailblazer of the online coaching space. And for good reason. The truth is, I'm no stranger to doing things differently. Whether it be the video content that so many people know me for, the messaging frameworks and the feminine freedom funnels that have shown women how to remove themselves as the cost in their business, it's so clear why my brand grew the way that it did. Because I don't follow trends, I set them. Here's the truth about the female entrepreneur space. There are so many iconic women building these incredible businesses, but still feeling and being the cost at the end of it. And that's exactly what this show is here to change. Soft Girl Millions is not about being soft on the outside and baking sourdough. It's not about the aesthetics or the idea of not working. It's about what happens when a woman stops being soft with everybody else, when she decides to stop being the cost of her own ambition and success. This show is a completely different format, part podcast, part reality TV show. We are traveling the world and bringing to you, straight into your screen, into the lives of iconic women. Not this perfectly polished, curated version that just sounds good on paper, but the real, the raw, the audacious and the vulnerable and everything in between. This show is not just about you watching us, it's actually about you learning how to build a business and a life and a level of wealth that blows your mind while you refuse to be the cost of it. So I invite you to come with me on this journey. This is the Soft Girl Million Show. So we are preparing for our final guest of season 1 of the Soft Girl Million Show. And this particular guest is so significant to the entire premise of what this show is all about. Because for me, iconic women who have continued to trailblaze against the odds, who have really helped to inspire my journey, and so many other people. Today's guest is such an epitome of someone who is, I believe, from everything that I've experienced from her and everything that I've heard about her from many, many people, has continued to trailblaze from a place of heart. She is probably the only person that can probably rival me for how quickly she talks. So this might be the fastest podcast episode in the history of time. But she is an incredible example of what is possible for so many people, and was a huge part of the inspiration for me starting Rich Queen. So get ready, because this episode is about to be fierce.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jasmine Star, welcome to the Soft Girl Million Show.
I'm very happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. And when I decided that we were going to do the show, you were on the very top of my list as the guest. If I could pick anyone, bucket list person for the vision board, you were on it. And the reason is because I have followed you since the very beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. And I always absolutely loved watching you on social media because to me, it's like I could feel you and your heart through the screen, regardless of what it was that you were doing. And so when I thought about this show, I was like, what a full circle moment it would be to have you on season 1 and bring the woman that helped inspire my journey and my brand being born into the online space into the hearts, eyes, and ears of all of these women that are going to watch you today.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It means very, very, very much. And the fact that you even asked, I think that a lot of women will stop themselves from even asking.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you asked for an introduction and then after the introduction,
It was
you
like
asked me.
2 times available for rejection
That's
by
right.
asking for the intro.
That's right. That's right. And
I'm-
here we are.
Yeah, and here we are.
No attachment to the answer, and yet we are unafraid to ask. So
Exactly.
thank you. Thank you.
So one of obviously the main reasons that I have always loved to follow you is because of your authenticity. And authenticity feels like a bit of a buzzword in the online space because people like to talk about it, but it can feel like, what does that even mean? But back in 2016, when you really came into the online space, I would love for you to share a little bit about what you have seen from an online space perspective, because I think there's like a lot of cycles with what's in, what's out. It's like curated is in, now ugly content is in. And I would love to hear a little bit about what it's been like as somebody that has navigated, the last 10 years, now that we're in 2026. What are some of the most significant shifts that you have seen, and how have you navigated staying original and authentic while still trying to continually innovate in the online space?
Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about an unfashionable and very uncomfortable word, and that's consistency. We have to expect as marketers is that everything will change. And so the reason why strong marketers will stay is because they understand everything will change. And the game isn't how long can I squeeze this lemon for all it's worth? It's how quickly can I be on to the next thing? And most often people are exhausted by it. And so the life cycle of marketers I see is anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So people who I started with off in the game, like smart, getting attention, to keep that pace, part of the cycle would require that constant innovation and that constant staying. And so if you really want a life of docility and predictability and keeping things the same and just the system, that building in the digital space is not going to be for you. So like the ride or die, the gangsters, it's like we can look up like a decade later in the game, look around and be like, we still here, dang. And so sometimes I joke, I'm like, I'm essentially like a cockroach. Like nothing's going to kill me. I'm going to keep on creating.
The one word I would not use to describe you.
Well, like, but it's almost like a proud embodiment.
Yeah, no, I totally
because
get it.
it's
I
like
get
the
it.
light comes on and everybody runs. I'm like, I'm still kicking. I was like, I'm not going anywhere. And I think that I say that just sometimes just like to jar somebody's attention with this full acceptance of I understand the terms of the game. And even though I understand the terms of the game, a lot of people will assume that I like playing the game. I think you did. We were having a conversation off camera.
The candid conversation that we just had, I am shooketh to this moment. Like I full-heartedly expected you to say, I would have assumed watching you that you absolutely love to create content because A, you're incredible at it, but B, it just looks like you're having so much fun. And you just shared with me that you do not like to create content. And
No.
I don't even know what to do with that.
And you told me like, I love it.
I
I love it. And I was like, I need to say that. Like on content days, I need channel Leanne. I love this.
But that's the thing though. I would love to know, like, what is it that you do not love about creating content? So what is it that you don't love? Because it's not, obviously you are a creator. Like there's you can't hide from that. Like you are a natural born innovator, creator. We see it in all of your content. But what is it about content creation that you don't actually enjoy?
Well, I've never been one to stick within structures.
Okay.
And so I think that what is required to build the next level version of myself are systems and structures. And so what I've seen a lot in the digital space, specifically when I started in 2016, it was like the path to $1 million was so fast.
Yeah.
And then the path from 1 million to 5 million required me to learn and be a different person and put people around me and systems around me. And it seems as if like when the brand gets bigger, more structure and systems are required to maintain that level and then expand.
Totally.
And so as the brand and the business gets bigger, to put things in like, this is our content day, this is our long form day, this is our podcast day. And it's just like, I kind of miss those rugged days of early Instagram where you could upload a photo, like a DSLR, like professional photo, and be like, this is my one piece de resistance post today. And
with
now,
some mic drop, one sentence
moment.
Oh
yeah. Like give me feet on the beach, cappuccino, like, salty hair, don't care. Captions, like, good Lord, like where did those days go? And now we're like fast, everything out, everything imperfect, scrappy. And then now we're judging each other's authenticity. Yeah. It's just like, sometimes I wonder when I look at people like crying on camera. I mean, here's the thing. Anybody who cries, like totally fine. I have no judgment.
We listen, we don't judge. But also
I'm a law school dropout.
When did you get the camera?
I keep a gavel.
At what point did you get the camera out? I have questions.
And so sometimes I'm just like,
Yeah.
So when it comes to authenticity, the energy that I have to channel is you will do things that other people don't to get results other people won't. And so I look at the outcome. What do I love more than creating content? Results. Defying the odds. And so if somebody says the way that you traditionally have defied the odds is to come from a family, is to go to a school, is to be part of a club, is to have a silver spoon, and then the internet came around and democratized it, and then social media put gasoline, and little brown girls from the hood said, oh, I can play this game. So if we just burnt down everything around that and said, there's no more walls and I get to win however I figure it out, the cockroach is going to play.
So you are the daughter of immigrants.
Yes.
And I know that when you talk about your parents, you talk about it through the lens of they poured into your ambition. Like they told you that anything was possible.
Yes.
So how did growing up, the child of immigrant parents, and your background feed into some of your personality traits that you have? Because obviously you're fiercely ambitious and you are a role model in terms of what you have been able to accomplish. And I love that you speak to what the online space and social media has leveled the playing field and removed the walls. But can you share a little bit more about coming up from parents who did actually pour into like, hey, anything is possible for you? Like, how has that helped shape your journey in terms of what you've been able to create?
So, I mean, here's the thing, Leanne. I want to be part of the reason why people will say Jasmine's authentic is because I will say things that make maybe other people uncomfortable. And
we live for this.
I'm going to speak. And I am okay understanding that everybody on the internet has an opinion. And a decade in this, you're going to have an opinion if I drink green juice or I eat pizza. You're going to have an opinion if I go on a run or if I sit on the couch. You're going to have an opinion if I decide to homeschool my daughter or not. So everybody's going to have an opinion. So if everybody's going to have an opinion, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose me. And every single time. And so when it comes to, and so I've done a lot of therapy, Leanne. I've done a lot of work. And I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell as much as possible, is that my parents did the best they could with what they had. And they told me anything is possible. And yet, as a child, you go through experiences and it shapes what your belief is.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know the words limiting belief until I was 30 years old. And so the journey of me stepping into what is actually possible, because there's one thing to say you can be anything.
Right.
And there's one thing to believe in the dream. But do I believe in the belief? Do I believe that I can have that? Do I believe that that is within my purview? And the fact of the matter is I could say something, but if we don't on a cellular level believe it, it will never happen. And so it wasn't until I started digging it and uncovering, is it in you? So statistically in the United States, only 4% of business owners will ever cross $1 million. 4%.
That's crazy.
Only 0.7% of business owners that are women will cross that mark. Less than 1%. And if you were a brown or a black woman, it is 0.25%. So for me to believe that I had the capacity to be in a 0.2% of all American business owners a few years into my career, I had the dream, but did I believe? And the thing that was stopping me from ascending every other level was to break a held belief that I had from childhood. Not because my parents didn't tell me, but it was what you saw.
Yeah.
So if people are donating things to you because you can't afford gifts, if you can't buy new clothes, if you are wondering, okay, how are we gonna get food in the fridge? So my parents got out of debt and they cut up their credit cards. They were at this seminar. My sister and I have a twin sister and we're watching and we're like, what in the world is going on? And then we saw our parents do this. And then my dad would get a paycheck and he would cash the paycheck and he would put cash in white envelopes, each denoting for how we're going to get out to debt, for how we're going to get our food. So what happens to a child's mind when the money out of the white envelope for food is gone? My parents said anything is possible. And then there's the reality of the empty white envelope. What is that subconsciously planting? That money is finite. And for me, when I'm 25 years old, that somebody actually plants a seed on the internet somewhere out there that says, you can start a business. And I'm like, no. Me? And I picked up a camera. I was in law school. I dropped out.
I love that.
And I said, let's give it a try. And that was the first foray.
What was it like dropping out of law school? Like what was the reaction from your family and your parents and that feeling of like, I'm going to do this instead of this? Because I know that I think you have been with your husband, JD, since like high school,
yeah.
right? So you had a lot of like stability with your family in terms of like the person that you were with and what you were doing. And obviously like law school is a big deal. And especially I feel like sometimes for parents, it can be a really big deal around she's in law school. So was there any resistance that you had?
It's crazy. None.
No,
like zero. Like
You had
I had it. I just
the
bore
internal pressure.
I mean, and nobody put that pressure on me. Nobody. It's like when I got accepted to a few law schools, all of which are so impressive, but don't need to be mentioned here because it would do nothing but feed my ego and nobody else cares. But when I chose to go to UCLA, it's primarily because I had a full ride scholarship.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, great. And I'm in LA and JD is here. And I'm like, this is going to be a good situation. And my parents were so proud. My dad's a pastor in East LA. And I know that you were in Beverly Hills, but that's West LA. Baby girl, let me tell you, the distance between West LA and East LA is less than 7 miles, but we're talking about 7 countries different. Okay. So when I get to law school, my parents are like, we want to throw you like a part. Oh, puts a little lump in my throat. Dang it. My dad opened the church. And he invited people in and he said, my daughter's going to law school. And in that moment, I just felt like all the sacrifice my parents made.
Yeah.
And then less than a year later, to sit across from him in West Los Angeles, less than a mile from the Bel Air gate, when I felt like I was so close, Leanne, I felt like, Daddy, I'm at the Bel Air gate, like your girl. And to sit there and say, Mom has cancer and I'm struggling with depression. And I don't want to die a lawyer. My mom was 50 and I was 25. And I was like, I don't want to die a lawyer. I don't want to do this. And I'm so sad. And my dad said, Mija, leave. And it wasn't the first time that he told me that he came to this country and he worked jobs that nobody else would work to ensure that his children would never have to do something that they didn't want to do.
Right. So
sure, of course. Is he bummed? Maybe. He never let me know.
I love that.
And he said, follow your heart. Follow your heart.
The courage that it takes to go all in, especially when it like doesn't make sense on paper. You're like, it doesn't make sense. Like you're like, law school makes sense, right? You're like, it makes sense. And then now I'm going to pick up a camera and go into photography.
Yeah, I didn't own a camera, Leanne.
Right?
I said I wanted to become a photographer. I didn't own a camera.
Oh, so it's not even like you'd been like,
no. Like, no. There's no Annie Leibovitz. You know, I'm just like, how do I turn this thing on? I'm like, it's a dream. I mean, like, what in the world, Leanne? What in the world?
So what did how did you go from, where did that desire even come from that it was photography? Like, is it visual creativity? Was that something that you were like, that's what I want to do? Like, why photography?
So the common theme in every part of my journey has been, I would not have the vision if it wasn't in me to accomplish it. Like, I didn't wake up and dream like, oh, I want to be on the NBA. Of course not, right? I don't wake up and dream that I wanted, that I'm going to fix people's teeth. I don't want to be a dentist. It was not in me. So the fact that this idea was implanted as a photographer and it wouldn't go away.
Right.
And so what happens is I become a photographer and I don't own a camera. And then I don't have money for a website and I don't even have money for lenses. So I start a free blog and I'm documenting the journey and I start talking about things that are happening on with it. Unbeknownst to me, that was the start of a personal brand, because a brand isn't a website or a logo or a font or typography. A brand is what you make somebody feel. And at the time, with no money, I was making people feel something about me and the journey, regardless of the type of quality of work that I was producing. They just saw somebody doing something. And like, one thing we will say about people and the internet is that they like an underdog story.
They love.
Americans.
We love.
But specifically, I mean, it's the land of the gladiator and Rocky Balboa. It's like, if you're at the bottom, we're going to root for you. And then Americans will always tear you down the minute you get there. But that's a different episode if we want to go there. But
Season 2,
yes. Oh my God, am I going to be like a recurring guest like every season?
We approve this message.
Oh my gosh.
Sign here.
Oh my gosh.
Sign
Yes. Yes. Okay. I create this blog. It gets a lot of readers. And then people start paying me to dissect and talk about my lenses, my camera gear. And this is me not understanding that this will one day become a generational thing for influencers to talk about what it is they're doing. And I thought to myself, okay, I like this, but I'm not going to do this anymore. So then these companies that said, you're not going to promote for us, can you come into our marketing and branding teams and tell us what it is you're doing? Are you willing to be a consultant? And I went to Google and I was like, what is a consultant? How much do they make? And so I went back and I said, yes, I'll do consulting. It'll be this much. And they said, okay. And I was like,
damn, I should have gone higher.
I'm like, I am a consultant. Look, you hear me roar. And then after I realized that I didn't want to do that for businesses, I wanted to do it for small business owners, independent. So that is what happens in 2016.
What was the experience that made you like, no, not these. I want to do it for small businesses.
They have a lot of rules, and I don't like rules.
Not a rule.
No,
not a rule follower.
No. I like understanding, and I like playing the game to understand the rules, and then I want to know how I break them.
Okay, so let's talk about how we break the rules of the online space. So you're like, I want to know the game, and then I want to know how I break the rules. Because I would say that you're someone who, what's interesting to me is I would say from social media, you seem to have more of like a good girl image than like a know the game, break the rules. Like, I would say that like somebody that didn't know you would be like, oh, you seem like you follow the rules.
Okay, wow, we're going to go there? Yes, I am. I make no apologies. It's because I'm brown. Brown women, you have a reaction? Oh, she's spicy Latina.
No. Yeah.
She's an angry Black woman. So what do? I've paid a lot of money to be in rooms with men of many a lighter shade to watch how they walk and see how they talk and play their game. And I will smile and I will watch and I will make it my own.
I'm curious around that. Do you think if you did some of the spicier content that I did, that there would be a different reaction?
Of course. But Leanne, it's not, I mean, it's for like an Asian girl, a Black girl,
same.
a Haitian girl. Like,
for sure.
You own it and it's you. And we talk about authenticity.
Yeah.
If I saw what you did and I did the same thing, oh, you want to race me in a Tesla? Come on, boys. This is far. If I did that, the reaction would be visceral. You are afforded a luxury, and guess what? Yeah. I look at that and I clap you up.
Yeah.
You're a waymaker, baby. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care. I see another woman and I'm just like, you do you in your way, and I freaking love it. I freaking love it.
But is there any part of you, a big part of Soft Girl Millions came from 3 significant anchors that make up because I think a lot of people think Soft Girl Millions, it was very jarring against me and my brand because there was like, there's nothing soft about her. Like, why, like, is she baking sourdough? Like, is she, other than Pilates, which I do like the hardcore Pilates, right? I'm like, what's the most aggressive form of Pilates we can do? Where I might die, that's the one I want to do. But for me, Soft Girl Millions was not about everybody else's version, but instead was actually about removing myself as the cost. Like finding, as someone that really struggled with putting myself as the cost in relationships, in the business, and someone that has struggled with depression and felt very lonely and very much was more comfortable with being the cost than not. A huge part of it was removing myself was the cost. The other piece of it was about full expression. I think part of me felt like, and I'm curious to know if you've ever felt like this, because part of me felt like people love my spiciness. So people really love my audacity. And it became a point where I felt a little bit like people don't really want this side of me. Like I have a big heart, and I feel like it was probably easy to miss that on social media, and not really from anyone else's fault, like from my own. I wasn't particularly putting it out there. But full expression for me is one of the most authentic things that you can do, and it's one of the most magnetic forms of content you can create. So when we were talking candidly before about why I love creating content, for me it's a form of my like self-expression. I love the fashion, I love the different types of reels that we create. I love expressing myself in very significant ways. Is there any part of you even now that still feels like you're not fully expressed in your brand, or do you feel like your social media and your brand and what people consume is a good full expression of you?
Interesting. But one thing to note, because I geek out, like I study the game. Like most people will watch Wimbledon or the Masters. I watch people and I watch how they play. And I think that squeeze this time for all it's worth. There's never been a time right now to create an opinion, to draw a line in the sand. That was faux pas 3 years ago. Now, like a good hook is like, do you suffer with IBS? Are you a mom in her 40s who's trying to lose the last 10 pounds? Those are the hooks of 3 years ago. And now what happens, it's this, we go to niche, thought you were wrong, 3 ways to avoid it. And so when you come in and you're zigging when everybody's zagging, you are being distinctly divisive. I think that you embracing the software era, we're gonna boomerang. So you're good right now at expanding the brand this way and then leaving a doorway for you to go out to the next thing. So to me, I just looked at it as pure strategy. And it is a full expression of you, but you see where the puck is going.
Oh, for sure.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, great.
I'm like, it gets to be, but like, that's the thing. It gets to be, I'm like I'm a strategic savage. There's no denying that. But I love that. I would say what's so interesting to me is watching your social media, I would have no idea that you were playing it through that lens. So I love like your transparency around that, because I think this is where there is a lot of pressure to be so authentic that it should just be effortless to create the content. It should be so easy for me to show up and be able to share in a way that I need to share my life. Like I need to share. Again, I would say that you are, I would class myself as a very open, private person. So I'm like, you're not going to get access to every element of my life on social media. And I make no apologies for that.
100.
And something for you is I would say that you have done a good, again, I watch you and you seem very open, but I can also feel your private nature too. So, you've shared things around your adoption story. I remember following along with that, and it was such an amazing thing to be able to witness you in that. I actually remember when you posted about going to Vegas and getting Luna, and I the other week, I think, when you posted, because it was her birthday, and you were sharing, and I know you always share the place where JD takes the photo of you, and it took me right back.
Okay, hold on. So for people who we're in season 1. So a little bit of context. JD and I adopted our daughter in 2020. We had 24-hour notice. We became a family in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we checked into the Four Seasons, and they said, are you any special reason why you're here? I said, I'm going to become a mom. And they upgraded us to the presidential suite. And it was a complete surprise. And it was so incredible. And to have that experience and have that suite, that was the day we became a family. So her birthday is January 22nd. But the day that we all celebrate with full vigor is February 2nd. So that was the day we became a family. And so for people who are unfamiliar with the story, we go back to the Four Seasons every year, and we will do it until she says she wants to go or she doesn't. That's okay. It's her story and she owns it. But we will go back to the floor where the presidential suite is, and we're going to take a photo right at the same spot. So what we have so far and what we just experienced is a series of photos of myself and Luna from day 1 to she recently turned 6. And so that's like a little bit of context. And I do share that. But here is, so I'm highly private. I love that people say, I feel like I know you. I love that. That's intentionality and that's strategy. But the truth of it is people know about 0.01% of me. And I'm okay with that. So what do I decide to share? Years ago, I created what I call the person on the airplane role. If I will sit next to somebody on an airplane and they ask questions or they get to know me, that's what I would put out on social media. So yes,
Okay, so
I
that's
would
your filter.
That's my filter.
Uh-huh.
I would talk about my daughter's adoption,
Right.
but I'm not talking about any details around it.
Right.
I would talk about my mom's journey with cancer and how she is, thank God, in remission, still
Yeah.
here with us today.
Which is amazing.
But there's no other details that are going to be associated with that. So to me, I will make casual conversation so that you can feel connected to me. But the truth of it is I am a wildly private person. And I cherish my relationships more than I cherish opinions. So I'm very, very, very private.
I love that because I think that it's such a good finding the filter. So I love that you're like, just what would you share to somebody on an airplane? Like, are they the things? And I also think it's okay that can evolve, and that can change. I feel like in the beginning of my business, you know, I had a little bit of pushback from a couple of people last year when I publicly shared about suffering with depression that I hadn't shared it before, that said it would have been more powerful had I have spoken about it earlier. And my instinct is I understand that opinion, but it is an opinion. And also there is no timing that you can force. And for me, I would never force myself to share something until I was ready to tell the story and strategically extract the wisdom, because otherwise I'm just trauma dumping on the internet with no purpose. And so for me, it was really important to trust in the timing of when I'm ready or allowing myself for the filter to change.
And the important thing to note here is not the decision that Leanne made.
Right.
Leanne modeled what strategy and wisdom actually is, because during 2016, 17, 18, 19, it was such like this burgeoning era of being seen and being known. And for the people who went in and I'm like, I'm going to share everything in all the ways, they got so much attention, like a flash in the pan, but it was unsustainable.
Yeah.
So if you, like, I always look at social media like fire. Fire is something that's great because it keeps us warm. We can cook with fire, but fire also burns down forests. And so what happens is when people can't be satiated because they get a little bit of you, then they want more of you, then they want more of you. And if you share this really big thing, the next time you share, it has to be as big or bigger.
Or bigger, yeah.
And so what happens is people got into this like, then this, and then this. And so they became like a microcosm and then a hurricane of drama, unpredictability. And boy, was it fun to watch. And did it get attention? And it was unsustainable, and you burned out, and you lost credibility because you wanted popularity, you didn't want profitability. And so, you know, being in the online space now a decade, we've been able to see those cycles, and I look back and I say, you. Don't play anybody else's game. Don't talk about something that you're not comfortable with, and you could always change the rules.
I love that. So what do the rules look like for you now? Where you're like, what does the game look like? So in the season that you're in, because you have been around, like you're one of the OGs that's actually lasted and continued to innovate. So you're still innovating, you're still showing up, and we're in a different landscape now because things have changed. Like we've been in the season of the private jet and we don't know, you know, what's real, what's not. We've been in the season of like super curated. We've been through the AI boom, and now we're coming back to quick, like authenticity, ugly content, face to cam, so that we definitely know that it's not AI. Like what do the rules and the game look like to you at this point right now?
To be totally honest, at the time of this recording, it is such a dumpster fire, like nobody knows. Like, and when you said we went through the AI boom, I was like, oh, baby.
We're in it.
We ain't even touched it.
Oh, you're like, it's still coming.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. When we say, the way that the quickest path to building trust is being on camera. And yes, until the good marketers ruin it all. The best marketers ruin everything. Because right now, and this is what I'm doing, I'm going live because at this point in time, but do I think in less than 2 years, I can go live and type in a script and just sit there with like Cheetos on my fingers and sweatpants and have like this live inspirational talk that's like AI generated based on like about 3,000 hours of podcast content? Absolutely. That's coming. So I don't think we've even scratched the surface.
Oh, for sure.
So I wouldn't even I'm like, listen, we're going to save that drama for tomorrow. We'll find other good marketers. We'll find other ways to demonstrate authenticity. But at this point in time, I'm doing the things that classically, there are fundamentals. I think it was Kobe Bryant who said, somebody had said, Kobe, why do you practice the fundamentals every day? And he says, you're asking me that question because I'm the best. And it's because I practice the fundamentals every day.
My son plays basketball.
Oh, yes.
And my husband tells him that every single time.
Your
when he
husband's
talks
right.
about Kobe Bryant, he's like, because all the kids try and do the fancy Steph Curry shots. And he's like, the fundamentals.
That's right. And every single day. So then now I look at, listen, there are things you cannot control. We cannot control the algorithm. We cannot control, despite Moseri's like best efforts to say, oh, we're trying our best to flag AI content. No, you're not.
You're not.
No, you're not. No, if you're giving like the free dime bags of cocaine to everybody, and then once we're addicted, we're gonna be like, I can't get off of it. We see the game. Like, call it out. Say no to drugs. Like, legit. So what happens now is the fundamentals of social media, and specifically marketing. Because I say social media and people say, that Jasmine, she's into social media. I was like, baby girl, if you told me I had to ride 2 dolphins and smoke a cigar and dress like a clown to build my business, I'd be like, watch me stand on Flipper. Yeah. So it's like, I talk about social media because it's the easiest, most tangible way to get marketing now.
Right.
So we'll use it as an example. And so the main tenets are going to be consistency, what people can predict from you, and how you are showing up on a one-to-one. Because at this point in time, there's a lot of automations. Hey, I clap it up for automation. Bless automation. But there is a point where automation could put you at distance between the person. So I am responding to comments and DMs, not because I think I'm so great, or not even because like I really just want to see you. It's because when I connect with real people, I am actually doing market research. This is R&D for an 8-figure business on what the future is and where people see, like, I'm looking for gaps. I'm looking for copy. What is the same words that people are using again and again? What are those pressure points? And can I stay in front of the hockey puck to meet people where they are to elevate that transition? So no, I am responding simply because I see you as a human. I know it matters because conversations lead to conversions, but I need to know, where are you at and what are you struggling with?
And it's like both truths can coexist.
Absolutely.
And that's the piece that I think people miss and again, everything, I think in every season, even since I've been in the online space, there's been so many cycles of what's in and what's out, and everyone will scream from the rooftops of like X is dead and this is in, and things always come back around. But the most important thing is nothing can replace that human connection of whether it be the people inside of your world, whether it be putting yourself in actual, real rooms. And I'd be curious because I think I've seen a big influx even this year of people desiring more in person.
100.
Like, there's a big push which goes anti the freedom narrative of like online courses. And when people say like, oh, people aren't buying online courses anymore, I'm like, well, they are. And people are also desiring
100%.
To do more in-person things.
That's right. That's right, Queen.
Yeah.
Like that's the game. And what you just laid out was not like, I am pontificating about the future. I'm Nostradamus. It's, I'm close enough to a product and the customer to know what comes next. And then you build for what's next. You don't build for what's now.
So what is now for you and what is next for you? Like, what are the things this year when we're coming out of last year and coming into 2026, and there's a lot of hype about the year of the fire horse? We've got outside after this interview, we've got a horse. I'm just kidding. Yes. But what are the things for you this year that you deeply desire to experience? Like, are you someone that's big on like goals in terms of like numbers? Are you big on experiences? Like, are there particular ways that you think about the year ahead and what you want to experience and achieve?
Yes. So I a huge focus on Year of the Horse. My mother-in-law is Chinese. And so those red envelopes filled with cash, she said, do not sweep your house. Yeah, it was, I think what?
Don't wash your hair.
Don't wash your hair. So all that stuff laid out. But I think that it doesn't really serve us well if we talk about the Year of the Horse without acknowledging the Year of the Snake. So the Year of the Snake, we had to shed so much. And the shedding process. What
did you have to shed?
Girl, everything.
What did you shed specifically?
Everything.
Specifically, Jasmine Star?
Okay, so everything from identity, belief, self. I got away for 1 week by myself, and my husband was so about it. He was so about it because I said, there is this itching in me and I am filling it with the void. So I come from a long line of addicts, and my addiction is applaudable. I work. Oh, she's such a hard worker. And I work not to feel. And so what happens is if I get into the place where it's like, let me just get a hit. Let me just get a hit. Let me just check in. And I could totally use it as a positive experience. Like, but let me just, absolutely, I just need to do this little thing. And obviously, look at this life. Look at how we get to travel. Let me just check in. And when I told him, like, I'm out of alignment. Like, I need to step away. And he's like, 100%. So I went for a week by myself to Lanai, this place called Sensei. I just cannot speak so highly. There's one in Palm Springs and one in Lanai. I've been to them both. And in every single time I go, I have this transformative experience because I don't take a computer. I don't take a phone. I'm completely by myself.
So completely like cut off.
Complete unplug. And it was there, and you do a lot of meditation, and you do sound baths, and you eat Nobu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you go on long walks, and you get to be on the beach. It's this really magical place. And it was there that I realized that in order for me to build the next level version of the business, I had to trust people. And for the entirety of my life, you couldn't have told me I didn't trust people. And what happens when you get real silent and you face the little girl? I don't trust. And I would not let people in. I wouldn't let my leaders take what they needed to do because I didn't trust. I literally would throw myself in front of a bus for key members of our team, like no exaggeration.
Oh, yeah.
And so what about this was not letting people in? And I realized that my entire focus, the year of the horse, is going to be to build a separate arm of the business that is the thing that people want. Human to human. High touch, personalization, and a result. And I realized that Jasmine Star doesn't scale, but a team of coaches who adhere to a system. I have a proven reputation. We train this team. We put leaders in front of them. And somebody who comes in and wants a 90-day transformation, and they're sitting with a coach. And the way that that happens is for me to get out of the way. And who I came back as was a different person. I'm a cowgirl. I'm a cowgirl. I'm a cowgirl. Give me out that red horse. I'm a cowgirl this year. And it's not easy, Leanne. It has been one of the most painful experiences because we come here, girl, and we shoot the B-roll.
Right.
And we walk in the house and on the car ride over, I'm talking to my husband and my business partner, and I was like, we need to talk to the recruiter. I don't think this is going to work. This is subpar. How are we extending the brand? Because the brand does this, and if somebody says that. And so it's these chess pieces of moving. So I can sit in front of you, Leanne, and I could talk about you're the horse. I could talk about we're going to do 8 figures in 1 year off this one thing. I could say that. And can I put my head down on the pillow at night and let people know there is a cost? I've counted the cost. And when you know the cost, every day you wake up and you're like, how am I going to get punched in the face again today? And then you create and you sell the dream. And when they're on the inside, you say, this is the real stuff. You'll get a result. Are you willing to do the work?
And one of the things I love that you shared, though, is around you identified where you were the cost, right? So you looked at like, okay, I am the cost and I need to shift things, but it also doesn't mean, I think people think a lot around alignment and shifting what you're doing and what you're focused on. Just means that then you make the decision and it's super easy. It's like now everything is so effortless. You know, I joke, but it's like before coming here, it's like this came together really easily, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't a lot of work to come and do everything. I also, the week before we came was a really shit week. A really shit week. And it was like, of course, it's the final year of the snake, right? Duh. Of course it was going to be a shit week before we came out here. And it made the contrast even greater this week to be able to have distance, even leaving where I live and coming here and being in a different environment is just such great perspective around seeing it from a different angle. So sometimes just removing yourself, you know, this is not the same as you. Like we did not come here laptopless or phoneless, and we came with a whole bunch of people and there's been a lot going on. But that's still, I feel like I've got such a different perspective on just the same thing around like, what am I tolerating? How have I contributed to this? Like what is my role in this? And if I'm going to move forward, this is a commitment. Doing things like this is not easy to do, and it comes at a cost in one way, but wherever I am alive and lit on fire, and again, strategically thinking about how do we use this, where do we use this? This isn't just like, oh, I'm going to do a show and it's going to be so cute. It's like, I'm going to do a show and strategically that works for my entire business.
100%.
But there's also hard things that have to happen around that. So 100%. I love that you talk about like, it's still not easy. Like you're in the transition period of what this executing on this looks like based on paying attention to what people want.
100%. 100%. You are a mirror.
So when you say that you, first of all, how many days did it take you to get into it when you were there? Like, how do you
to
go
defrag?
from...
I call it defragging.
Yeah.
Like, because
I
you're literally...
always joke, I'm like a 90-minute massage girl because the first 60 minutes I'm like, let me just like try and turn all the dials off in my brain. And then the final 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm into it. And even on vacation, I feel like sometimes it's like it takes a minute to go from here to here.
When you go on vacation with your family, how long does it take for you to defrag?
Like probably 3 days.
Same here.
Yeah.
It's 3.
3 days. And my drug of choice is working. So,
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, of course. Yeah. It's like an addict appreciates and sees another addict. But we're in AA. Like, we look at each other and we go and we look at each other. And yes, but you have to challenge. You're like, I see it. I mean, it's very common for me to connect with other hardworking, powerful, addicted women to this thing. And we say, hey, I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
Girl, you got to take a break. Now, here's the thing. Anybody else in my life who is not running at the pace that I run and they tell me to take a break, it miffs me. But if I ever got a text message from you and you're like, hey girl, how are we doing? Do we need a 3-day break? I would be like, she could see it. Yeah, I listen. Of course.
Yeah.
But this is, I think that we create and we share so openly to let people know they're not alone.
Yeah.
To surround themselves with other people and to understand that just because it looks a certain way, that is real. And there's also real things that happen behind the scenes that nobody else sees.
So you said that you had to, obviously you faced the reality that you had to trust was a biggie. And you would have been like, if you would have asked me going into it, I told you of course I trust these people. I love these people.
Yeah.
These people are amazing. What's another identity that you've had to shift from the year of the snake? What's something else you've had to let go of or had to like really look at that maybe caught you by surprise or what else? I mean, you were on that trip for 7 days. I'm sure
it was crazy because I'm a part of this group called Hampton and I joined it primarily like years ago when we were starting the SaaS company. And I wanted to get around other SaaS founders. I didn't know any SaaS founders and I didn't know very many women in that tech space. So I joined this program and it kind of attracted that like Silicon Valley bro kind of guy. And I was like, great, I'm in here. Here's the things I'm doing. And I've been a part of that program. And then in November of 2024, they call it an executive retreat. So you go 3 days, 2 nights, and you go somewhere. And JD and I have an agreement and he's co-signed that I will go somewhere by myself for a night. But if it's related to business and it's more than that, I want to experience my daughter. I want to be with my husband. And so we've co-signed. We're doing it together. Anything more than a night and we're all in. So we fly to Austin and I went in expecting like executive coaching and strategy. Yeah. And what it really was all about getting quiet with yourself, defining your vision, who you are. It was like this whole like identity breaking process. So it was kind of like a flip from it, like, oh, okay, wow, we're doing meditations and we're doing these things. And every morning they had a cold plunge and they had holotropic breathing meditations. Oh. And so I had never done holotropic breathing. And it's like a very specific cadence and you like clear your body of everything. There's no drugs, there's no magical anything. So we would gather at 6 a.m. in Austin in the middle of the Commodore estate and they would lay out mats and you're cold and the sky is dark and then you cover your eyes with a blindfold and you're breathing. And what came to me so clearly was let him love you. And I was like, what? I have loved one man and that is my husband. And I was like, and you're just supposed to be in it. And I'm just like, wait, what? And I was like, get out of your head and into your body. Get out of your head and into your body. And we finished this. And at these events, it's like 95% men. Right. And these are grown men who are crying and they're talking about how they need to like spend more time with their kids. It was very powerful to be alone with yourself and channel that energy and get real quiet in your mind. And I went back to the hotel room and like I sat at the edge of the bed and I was just like, I think I felt physically like ill, like something happened, something shook up. And my husband says, do you want to talk about it? I said, I actually think I need to like just think about it for a sec. So then I go through the day, we go through other things. And then there was a 2-hour break and he's at the pool with Luna. So I walk down and we sit at the edge of the pool and I peel my pants up and I stick my legs in there and I'm sitting next to him. And I said, I don't think I've allowed you to love me. I met him when I was 16 years old. We've done everything together. And so of course he's like beguiled and puzzled and he's like, what do you mean? And I said, I think there's a part of me that has kept you out because I don't love myself. And you want to love all of me. And I keep you at bay. And he's just like, will you let me in? And I said, I want to. I got to do some work. I don't know where it's coming from because I have never desired or looked at anybody but you. Right. So I got some work to do. because I need to love me far before I ever let somebody else love me this way. And so here we are, like maybe like 6 months after that, and just having a lot of conversations with really guided professionals around what happened early on that pre-programmed something in my mind that the two are intersected, Leanne. Not allowing my love to love me and not trusting happened very early. And there will come a point, Leanne, when I talk about it, I'm still in the process of it.
I love that. And I'm so grateful that you shared it, because it's so easy to look at you. You're beautiful. You're so charismatic. Like, it's so easy to think that like you have such strong self-worth, and it would be so surprising for so many people to be like, what could you possibly not love about you? But everyone, all of us, we're human beings. We're all navigating a lot of the same experiences, even when it's completely different. And I love that you are so focused around your own internal reflections and also not rushing the process of like what that healing, whatever you want to call it, needs to look like. Right. Healing. So I'm so grateful that you shared that.
Thank you. So I look forward. Maybe season 3, we talk about the things I've did. Girl, I got some plans. Like, the world ain't ready. The world ain't ready. The year of the horse will bring a new journey for me. Personally. We're not talking about business. But you know what will happen. You know what will happen when I expand, the business expands.
Always.
100%.
Always.
100%.
So this feels like a really good place to say thank you.
Thank you.
The start of so many conversations to come. I'm so grateful that you came on and that you shared so honestly. There's so many avenues we could go down, so many conversations that we could have, but you are, I'm just so grateful for you because, thank God you went first because, listen, I might not be a little brown girl, but I am raising little brown boys.
Oof.
And I am so grateful that women like you are, they get to look up and like see me, and they also see you alongside me. And I think that's just so cool. I have a 16-year-old bonus daughter. Same thing. So thank you for being a part of my journey.
Thank you. And I have to say, Leanne, season 1 and what you create here is magic. You created the vessel and you became the conduit. And this is your first time out. And I don't know if other women look at other women at their first time out and just say, job well done. Job well done. This will be the worst it will ever be.
And if this is the worst,
exactly. That's it. May all women say that. May all women say, if this is the worst it will ever be.
If this is the worst,
if this is the worst it will ever be. Thank you. I've said and shared things that I've never shared before. And it's because of who you are and what you've created. Thank you. You're just getting started.
Oh, Jasmine Star, everyone. Thank you.
You are so good. I'm sweating. Oh my God. I am like these questions, Leanne. I was like Barbara Walters, Diane Sawyer. My God. So good.
Oh
so good. Good God, woman. Good God.
I love you.
Bienvenidos.
Welcome to La Cocina with Jasmine Star, our guest today.
Jasmine Estrella. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Okay, so when in Newport Beach and when you're working with a Latina, let's make some guacamole.
Yeah.
Do you know? Okay, so I'm going to talk and we're going to cut.
Yeah.
So let's make this as easy as possible. We're going to have some open avocados.
Okay.
And so we're going to make slices one way. We're going to flip the avocado and make them the other way.
Love.
And while we're doing this, yo voy a hablar. Okay, it's cuento time. Okay, so it's story time. So I went miniature golfing. The first time I had moved to Orange County, I was trying to make friends, and we went miniature golfing. And I told JD, I said, oh, we should order some guacamole and chips. And the person across from me that we were golfing with, he said, guacamole? Waka, like with a W? He's like, it's guacamole, Jasmine. And I was like, I'm sorry. My people invented that word.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
it's not
you will not correct
guacamole,
me.
like waka. It's guacamole. So we are not making guacamole, ladies and gentlemen. This is, say it, Leanne.
Guacamole.
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 Eso! That's how we do it.
Sí o no?
See?
So fun fact. When I just told you I worked for Aldi before my online coaching career.
Yes.
Discount food retail, everybody.
Oh, nice plug. Are they sponsoring the show? They need to be sponsoring
That
this.
is like the most
Sure.
that would be fun because very unexpected. However, there was a period of time where I actually used to buy avocados. I was a director of purchasing for retail for produce.
Okay.
And so I used to travel to South Africa because Europe, they buy a lot of their avocados from South Africa.
Okay.
So I did a lot of visits to avocado farms, meeting with the farmers, and
If that, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that right there, that's a real waiting to happen. Let's clip out that audio. Let's have the overhead shot, and then we'll put some like old photos back of you like traveling in South Africa.
Oh my gosh! And then we're
that's
already
what
reverse engineering.
I'm
just gonna keep
yes,
it
no. Yes, move to the tomato.
Move to the tomato. Okay.
The tomate.
Also, me and Justin.
You know what you want to do?
Okay.
I don't know. To each their own. But when you flip your tomato, it rests a little. And then we could slice it that way, so it's a little safer. A little safer.
Meant for the screen, not for the kitchen. So me and Justin fell in love over guacamole.
Oh, tell me more.
So we used to go out when we first met. We actually both met at Aldi, and we weren't allowed to date. There was an anti,
rule breaker.
Rule breaker.
HR.
So it was down and dirty because we were a secret relationship. But we used to go out for Mexican, and we would go and eat guacamole and drink spicy margaritas before we would go out.
Okay.
On the weekends.
And did things get spicy?
Very spicy.
I mean, apparently, like 10 years later, you're
you've
married.
seen my husband. He's very spicy.
I mean, girl, say less. I don't look at anybody. I don't know what he looks like.
No,
I only have eyes for my husband. Okay. We don't talk. This is not Temptation Island. Okay. Oh my God.
But JD is he's so dreamy, and you guys have been you're like high school sweethearts.
High school sweethearts.
You've seen each other through
high school sweethearts.
Many iterations.
I mean, he went through like I have thick bangs. He's seen me through like about 35 pounds heavier. He has seen me through. I dyed my hair jet black. I mean, I had a nose ring.
Nose ring?
Oh yeah, like he's seen a lot of things. Okay, so real quick to bring everybody in, I love guacamole. Like if there's one thing I do, it's guacamole. So we have the avocados. Leanne is getting the tomatoes. We're gonna put them in there. Some people say it's sacrilegious, so you put tomatoes in guacamole. No, it's not. You need to come correct. So what I did was I squeezed the lime when it was uncut, then I sliced it, and now you just want to do is this will help the avocado not turn brown. And I like a little acidity because the avocado has some fats. Now, another thing, to me in my mind, you cannot, do you guys call this coriander?
Coriander, isn't it?
It's cilantro.
I was gonna say,
I know,
in England. Yes, yeah, but I'm
trying to be, I'm trying to be inclusive here. Okay?
I have been here for so long. I was like, literally, like, I have not heard anyone use that for so long. I forgot that I'm British.
The first time I went to Europe, they were like, there's coriander. And I was like, this is a British herb I've never heard of. So yes,
the
cilantro.
Yes.
So that's going to add the floral component. And in my mind, I know some people, they go to Chipotle, they're like, do you have the rice without the cilantro? I was like, why do you even live? What is going on here?
You know what's also perfect is the billboard for the show was directly above Chipotle.
You know, I'm here for it. There's I mean, it's like, this is full representation. Okay, so what I like to do is because the tomato has a little bit of liquidity through the seeds, is I like to have it just for color and dimension, but I like that amount.
Okay.
And so then what we'll do is there are some onions, but you're too pretty. You're too pretty to cut. Mm-hmm. We've had them pre-cut. So you're just gonna add, do you like onions?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think it adds like a little bit of like a nice flair. And then what we'll do is, listen. Do you do spice?
I do spice.
Okay, this is a serrano. And I'm gonna cut open the tip and I'm gonna smell it. This is more bell pepper than it is traditional. So I'll probably use all of it.
Okay.
And the crew, you guys have to taste, and you can't lie. So you're either going to say this is the best guacamole you've ever had, or
you're going to say this is the best guacamole that you've ever had.
Thank you. See, this is why we play together. We're like, you're great. No, you're greater. It's like, you do podcasting great. You do guacamole great.
You're better.
You're amazing.
Cuter.
And I'm going to leave the seeds. Oh yeah, there's not very many seeds in them. I'm going to leave it because I do like a little bit of spice. And I like to make the serrano very, very, very small, so you get a little bit of the heat without a lot of that crunch. And then do you want to get a little bit of salt and pepper? That's good. I like that amount.
You like this?
Mm-hmm. Now, there is somebody in my family who shall go unnamed, my sister-in-law, who puts, yes.
How much salt?
Let's put a little bit more. I like salty things.
Me too.
Okay, great. Okay, then let's make it for us because you're great. You're great. My sister-in-law will put, it's not my jam, but she will put a scoop of sour cream. Yeah, pepper.
I just don't want to ruin your.
Yeah. We'll put a scoop of sour cream because she likes it to be a little bit creamier, and she doesn't do the tomatoes. To each their own.
Oh, in the guacamole, sour
Yes.
cream in it?
Mm-hmm. Because it'll make it more of like
a
consistent, more like a like dip
less
style.
of the, oh yeah, less of the like I kind of like a chunky.
I do
guac.
too. I do too. Now, let's get a fork. Thank you. Okay, let's have you stir it. And then in the process of you stirring it, I prefer guacamole that's a little bit more blended. I do like the chunks.
So you kind of like mush it like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my first time in the kitchen. Not really, but
It's like somebody take
That's
pictures
what it looks
and
like.
Your husband's gonna be like, "What is this
we
podcast
might
doing?"
not be
Like,
including this in the show.
no, this is gonna be perfect. And so I'm looking at consistency right now, and then what I'll do with our
She's like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it better.
no, I'm just gonna get an initial taste to see what our salt
Ratio.
good. Okay, I like a little bit more citrus. And as you do that, what I'm gonna do, that's good. Some California avocados. I mean, you could just taste nice and oily and fatty. And the acidity is gonna break it down. And the proportion to the tomato, cilantro, and onions, it felt a little bit more like pico de gallo. Pico de gallo is tomatoes and onions and cilantro. So what I want to do is I want to put a little bit more avocado so that we get more of that avocado forward taste.
What is your favorite food? If you had to pick like to eat one meal for the rest of the time.
You know what? I have to say, I cook one thing and you're watching it happen in real life. My husband's gonna be like, "You done lied to the internet." But I love anything my husband cooks.
Oh.
And I know that sounds nice, but I'm actually really not. Like
he's a good cook.
Yes. I mean, he just loves watching. So when we travel, he's staring at chefs. Like, what are they doing? Why are they using it? He's the kind of person that if we go to a country, he'll go and buy spices that are like native there
And bring
he
them
brings
home?
Yeah. So anything. And so like people ask, "Oh, what are you guys going to do for Valentine's?" And I'm like, "I'm staying home.
Yeah, who
I'm
wants to
putting
go out on
on
Valentine's?
loose pants."
But
I'm
wait,
gonna eat-
you like being home though.
I love it.
You're an introvert.
And
no?
high introvert.
Yeah.
High introvert.
Which like that makes sense because anyone watching you would be like, but you're not. How are you possibly?
Well,
an
I'm
introvert?
outgoing. I mean,
Yeah.
outgoing, but like, baby, we got a show.
Yeah.
We got a show to do. We got the world to run. Like, I'll show up. I will do the little baile. I'll be Seabiscuit. I'll run the race.
BC
Um,
biscuit.
Okay. So, depending on the chip that you get, it will come with a component of salt. So, this feels a little balanced. And I like it.
Super salty and I love it.
It is a little salty, but I
I did too.
we'll put that part out.
Same.
I was
No,
like-
it wasn't just me. I
I'm
did
like,
the
why
same
is
thing.
the pepper not coming? Somebody refill the pepper. Okay, so I'm gonna get the sides of the bowl, and I'm gonna make sure that it's all fully whipped right in. So there is a few chunky pieces.
AKA, Leanne did not do it well enough.
No, it is. No. It's just I'm a control freak, you know? Okay. So now what we have is a consistency that's mostly avocado. And now what we're gonna do is, so my husband says that presentation is just as much important as the taste.
We live for
So
an
what we'll
OCD
do-
moment.
Yes, we were gonna wipe this bowl all the way down. And I'm only doing this because my husband has taught me well.
JD was going to be so proud.
He is gonna be so proud. And then what we're going to do here is we are going to get a sprig of the guacamole. We are
The
gonna
finishing
put it in
touches.
there. And then we are going to make it very welcoming for people to come in. And the crew has to taste. And ladies and gentlemen of the crew, there's only one answer. Do we love or do we love?
Yay! It looks so good. Oh, the camera's right above you. Look.
Or no, you have to hold it,
Oh,
Queen.
here we go.
There it is.
How many of you can say that Jasmine Star, you have made guacamole?
That's right.
Guacamole
That's right.
with Jasmine Star.
Yes. Con la reina en la cocina, Jasmine Estrella.
Here we go.
Hey.
Do Netflix.
Okay, now everybody has to eat it. Let's go. Yay!
Thank you for joining us in La Cocina with Jasmine Star. We love you. We appreciate you. Next time, maybe we'll just drink margaritas instead. But for now,
Preferably,
you.
we can make those. We can make those.
Thank you for joining us on season 1 of the Soft Girl Million Show. Stay tuned for season 2.
Bravo! Bravo! And we did it just right there in 10 minutes. We did just in 10
I was like,
minutes.
she is all good.
Shoot.
Come on, everybody.
You're gonna try it.
Monica, show them how to do it. Exactly.